Suiryuujin-sama turned into a tsunami and the light of hope. Let's live with nature. Long, long ago in the distant past, the great origin god, Oyakami-sama, the primordial deity, created the world of the gods and then formed the universe. This god then created the earth. The earth is made up of the god of time, the god of space, the god of fire, the god of water. It was protected by the divine powers of these four gods. On Mount Fuji of this earth, the child of the parent god who created the universe descended. And from this child, 10 gods were born. And from those gods, many more gods were brought into existence. They created various things on earth, such as trees, grass, flowers, insects, birds, fish, and animals. Thus humans were also created. God entrusted humans with the earth, along with the wish that it be cherished and cared for. This was the covenant between God and humanity. This is a story from a distant past that we do not know. A covenant with the god of fire. A covenant with the god of water. A covenant with the god of trees and grass. A covenant with the god of the earth. This is the land of the great ocean. In this land with a large lake, the people lived around its shores. However, as the population grew, there was not enough food or space to live. What could they do to produce more food and create more space for people to live? They began to wish that this lake could turn into a vast land. Hearing the wishes of the people of the great ocean land, the prince who ruled the land came with his retainers and began a grand project to drain the water from the lake. Thus, the lake of the great ocean land was transformed into sacred farmland. The people settled there, grew rice, and the land gradually became more prosperous. However, beneath it all, the Suiryuujin-sama, who had protected the lake and watched over the lives of the people for a very long time, was buried and left to suffer. Its heart-rending cries never reached the people. The people enshrined the heroes who opened the lake and created the vast land as gods in a shrine. They built stone monuments, remaining rivers and ponds from the lake, and offered their gratitude together. In the great ocean land, peaceful times flowed, and the Suiryuujin-sama came to understand the people's sentiments. However, over time, the people forgot their gratitude for nature and the water they once cherished. Then misfortunes began to occur among the people of the great ocean land. They started getting injured or falling seriously ill. Rivers overflowed, washing away homes and families. For themselves and for their nation, people fought each other, and much blood was shed. Many people lost their beloved families and cherished homes. A sorrowful history continued to repeat itself. The sorrow of Suiryuujin-sama and the anger of the enshrined heroes grew deeper and deeper. Many years passed, and in modern times, the great ocean land is even now beneath the land. Suiryuujin-sama remains suffering, just as in those days. Not seeing or hearing it, we must become aware of the voice of Suiryuujin-sama. Someone appeared who could understand and embrace those feelings. It was the esteemed chief priest of Fujiyasoyama Daijingu, to the place filled with abundant water for the suffering Suiryuujin-sama, who had been buried so that they may return. As passed down in Fujiyasoyama Daijingu, we have decided to hold the Maisetsugi Shufukusai. Many parishioners of the Daijingu gathered under the chief priest's guidance, and the preparations for the Shufukusai progressed steadily. Many vessels filled with clear water were prepared. When the prayers of the Shufukusai began, the face of Suiryuujin-sama, who had been buried in the great ocean land for so long, slowly and steadily rose upward. It was truly a gigantic Suiryuujin-sama. Through the purification ritual, Suiryuujin-sama used the art of duplication, scattering into countless invisible, large water jars with a dramatic bam, and entered them. Even though Suiryuujin-sama had been watching over us all along, we selfishly buried them away and caused them to suffer. We apologized, saying, "We're sorry. And from now on, we will all cherish water together." We made a promise to Oyakami-sama and Suiryuujin-sama. Suiryuujin-sama, we humbly ask, that you return through this river. Then, the once clear sky suddenly darkened. Thunder rumbled loudly, and rain began to fall in gentle drops. It was a sign that Suiryuujin-sama was passing through the visible river, and the invisible river in the sky. Suiryuujin-sama made their way back. And then, Suiryuujin-sama was able to return to the great and mighty parent, Dai Suiryuujin-sama, who had been waiting in the ocean. Once the chief priest at Iruzaki was asked by Dai Suiryuujin-sama, "Can you restore nature to its original state?" Immediately after the Shufukusai ended, the chief priest traveled to Iruzaki and reported the details of the Shufukusai to Dai Suiryuujin-sama. There, Dai Suiryuujin-sama revealed something to him. Since ancient times, the deities of nature and we humans have made a certain agreement. Suiryuujin-sama resides not only in rivers, lakes, and ponds, but also in wells and pools, as well as in fish tanks where goldfish and meduca swim. They are present wherever there is water, working and protecting us for our happiness, expressing gratitude for being protected by the deities of nature, and living together. That was the promise we had made. And yet, we have forgotten. Suiryuujin-sama had been pleading all along, but we failed to notice. Dai Suiryuujin-sama wished to save their suffering children, the Suiryuujin spirits. But to do so, the land where people now live would have to be returned to its original state as a lake. Everything would have to be returned to the sea. I want to protect humanity and save my children. They were suffering between these two wishes, unable to do anything. They sought guidance from Oyakami-sama, who stands on Mount Fuji. And the decision that was made was manifested as a tsunami. Even now, water-related disasters are occurring around the world. To correct the mistakes we have made, we sincerely apologize and promise to cherish nature and water from now on, to make and offer a strong commitment. When this becomes a prayer and reaches Oyakami-sama, the calamities will cease and Suiryuujin-sama will be saved. This is what the Shufukusai is all about. Yes, that's what the chief priest taught us. Now let's start with what we can do. Let's share this with as many people as possible. Alone we can do nothing. That's why we need one more person. By joining hands, one becomes two. When hearts connect, they form a great circle. Let us all offer a unified prayer to the gods. Remember our promise with Suiryuujin-sama and the deities of nature, and live together in harmony. By the heartfelt actions of beloved children, let the gods, nature, and people live together in harmony, without conflict, united as one. Let's share and spread this message. A courageous movement has begun. Even now, somewhere, Suiryuujin-sama, Mokuryuujin-sama, or Chiryuujin-sama may be suffering. It might be beneath our town, or it might be beneath your home. After the great tsunami, when everything else had been washed away, a single tree stood alone. This was left by the gods. It is a beacon of hope.